Okay, throwing the sphere, take 1 of 200. Okay, you want me to just go through all this stuff? Okay, so now, okay, we did the thing with the thumb. We want this wide enough here that we get 3 fingers with 3 fingers over the top. We're moving a lot of clay, so we want to have as much power as possible here. Scooting back, arms down on the legs, and hands flat, not up like this. This is not strong. This is strong, and basically I'm just going to be pulling back and attempting to bring that out so it's straight up and down. So I start pulling, I need to speed the wheel up a little bit here. So pull out. Once it starts moving, I just try to keep that nice smooth feeling going, and once I get this to where it's 3 fingers wide, the last thing I want to do is make that little niche underneath there, because that will help me get the next step going. And remember, when you start to pull this out, the clay is going to have a tendency to push you up, so you need to hold very firm. That's why you don't want the fingers like this, you want them like this. Now, got to get some water in here, because I'm going to cut back underneath, probably about, you see the width that this is, I'm going to cut back about half of that width. So this is simply coming back, and what I want to do is I want to turn this back so these are straight. The bottom will be flat, hopefully. So left hand on the inside, right hand on the outside, helping, fingers on the knuckles here, and I'm going to help push this back. And once the clay starts moving smoothly, I just keep going with it. So now, if you look at my hand, the clay, I've cut back underneath about that far. If it's a little close in here, you can pull it up so there's a little more room for your fingers. Now, I'm going to do the elbow inside the hip, thumb is up, right thumb's up, left thumb locks over that. This is at the base of the clay, fingers on the inside all the way in, and so I'll have something like this, if you know, which you cannot see when it's inside, like this. The idea here is to freeze these hands in the position, my elbow inside my hip, and pushing with this just hangs on, pull the clay between there, move up and in so that I end up with the top smaller, and the wall will all be the same thickness, thinness. So 5 o'clock, hold on to that, pushing with my hip and moving up and in. When my fingers get to the top, I stop, and then so for the last little distance here, the fingers are here, the palm is down here. These stay here, and this moves up to the top. And you might have to do a little fixing up here. I just put my index finger over there, and then at this point I'm going to check the wall. And this part here, I can push that out a little bit. I just take my finger and push that out so it's kind of straight. Check the wall. It's a little thinner down here, so when I take this up, I'll have to be a little careful with that. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Now, I'm going to do another hand pass on this, and in this case, if I can, I like to lock these together. This part of the palm at 5 o'clock-ish, push out. You see the bulge that's coming out? That's my fingers coming out here. I have these together. Mainly, I got the middle finger, ring finger, but everybody's working together here. So keep the bulge, hold that, and move up. And again, when I get to the top of my fingers, I back away and I bring my palm up. So this actually kind of squeezes the clay together a little bit. The clay is stretching apart at the bottom, which is sort of okay, but not. So now I'm going to, remember I talked about you don't always want a pot that's wide at the bottom. I'm going to push this in a little bit, so slow it down. Come on. So with this part of my hand, I kind of lean into the clay. So I push the base in a little bit. The other thing that does is it makes the clay a little thicker. So this clay is down here is still a little thin. I'm going to have to start my knuckle pass up here because it's thin down here right now. So and pull this in just a little bit. I like to have the top a little more narrow than the base. Knuckle on the outside, fingers on the inside. I'm going to push out, get the bulge, and then just keep that, hold on to that, and bring it up and kind of in. And when I do this, when the finger gets to the top, back away, turn the knuckle around, and I bring my, as soon as I can, I get my thumb up here. Now, sponge. I have a little water in the bottom. I need to get that out of there.
Yeah, I'm going to stop for a minute.